a great organization, and go on captainsforcleanwater.org right now and get yourself a membership and really support them. They're doing great stuff, and we appreciate it very much. Before you go, we have a representative from Crow. Come on down. Take care, Dan. Thanks a lot, Dan. And we also had the folks from the Calusa kayak tournament. So That was awesome. Everything's about the water today, except for now it's about the animals.
Well, some of the animals that go into the water. That's right.
Okay, we didn't get you there. Go ahead. Let me see if that one's working now.
Am I on?
Oh, you are on. Perfect. So we know that Crow has an event coming up, which is what I was getting in touch with you guys during the week so that we could have you come down and talk about the event. So first of all, introduce yourself to the audience and
say a little bit about Crow.
So for those of your listeners that don't know, I'm Alison Hussey. I'm the executive director of Crow. And for those that don't know about Crow, we are the clinic for the rehabilitation of wildlife. We've been around for over 50 years. We're located on Sanibel Island, but we take care of animals, native and migratory wildlife from on and off the island. And we treat, well, this year, unfortunately, we're going to have a record year, and we're going to probably treat about 6,000 patients this year. We have a teaching wildlife hospital. So we have students that come from all over the world to learn about wildlife medicine. And we are open 7 days a week. The hospital is to take care of the wildlife. We have a visitor education center that teaches about wildlife medicine and just about the wonderful and important balance of taking care of our wildlife and how important it is to have them.
Why do you think, why are the numbers higher? What?
Well, so human interaction always causes, we're building, development is going up. But during the pandemic, the hospital never closed. And we had a lot of people who were staying home and looking out their window and noticing wildlife a lot more than, when they're at work. So we just had a lot more calls. So we always encourage people to call us first.
Right.
Because sometimes the wildlife they notice is just fine and needs to stay out there.
And if someone sees an animal, wildlife animal in danger, they should not go and approach it. Should they call somebody first? What should be the process that they go through?
Well, so again, we're open 7 days a week. So if it's between 8 and 5, we always encourage people to call us at the hospital first. Hey, we've seen this animal, it's hurt, it's injured, or, there's a bird and it's not flying and we're not sure if it's okay, because right now they're fledglings. They're not flying. So in those cases we say, no, it's okay. Leave it alone. It's learning how to fly.
Right.
But there may be cases where we'll say, no, take a picture of it, send it to us, and we'll let you know. And of course, we can talk you through, okay, take it to one of our wildlife partners, because we have a wonderful network of veterinarian offices who serve as drop-off locations for us. If you don't want to drive all the way out to Sanibel to bring us something that you've rescued. Or we also will say, no. Please don't try and approach that bald eagle. You're not equipped to handle that. And we'll send one of our trained volunteers. So it's always important to call us first because you never know what you're approaching.
I know that I was leaving here one time, it was a year ago, and there was a bird out there that it didn't look well. And I called, and they got somebody here right away, and they said, do your best to keep people away, because people were trying to approach it and it was all tangled up.
She can never mind her own business. She's always got to be in the middle of something.
I was very worried. And
she was putting the yellow stakes around the bird with the crime
leave
tape.
The bird alone.
No, we want people to be mindful of wildlife. And in fact, we have initiatives where, if you care, leave it there. So the fledglings that I was talking about, leave babies in their nests, leave, mamas around. But also, I was here earlier listening to your folks about their kayak fishing tournament. Mind your line. We want people to be careful with their monofilament, and because it's so dangerous for birds and turtles and hooks, getting into the animals. So we want fishermen to be responsible and take care.
Do you get a lot of yellow belly turtle sliders brought into your location?
We so most of our patients are avian birds.
Okay.
Most are, but then mammals and then reptiles.
And I was looking through, I was impressed with the list of releases. Like you are releasing.
We live for the releases.
Yeah, I bet.
That's what we want. We want eventually to release everything back into the wild that we can. So,
And I know the great blue heron that Ranger Rob found all covered in oil.
yes.
Again, with Ranger
He or
Rob.
she.
You bring them up every
Was
show.
it a girl or a boy?
I don't know that we sexed it.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah, what's the
So-
big deal?
I don't know. Well, I just want to use the right
Is there a way to
pronoun.
how would you tell? Could you tell?
There's
Blood test?
there's a
There's a
test.
way.
There's
Okay.
a, there's a
Test.
thingy.
There's a
There are
way.
tests.
Okay.
But that was a wonderful success story. So we were able to clean it up and not too much damage, and so we were able to. We'll use the pronoun she. We
Okay.
got her back on her feet. She rested up, and then we released her back. So you can see those photos and video from that release on our Facebook page.
So how many bald eagles have you had? Or-
Over the years,
Yeah.
or just recently?
is it a normal thing?
It is.
Really?
In fact, we had a release not too long ago, and
Well, first of all, what happened to it? I mean, what?
the eagle that came to us had been found out near FGCU,
Okay.
Alico Road area, and had some issues. It'd been in a fight, so
Ah.
lots of damaged feathers, covered in kind of cement because there's some
Construction
out
going on
there.
that, yeah.
And so we cleaned it up. We actually, it's a really interesting story. So I would encourage you and our listeners to look at the story. We did a feather transplant,
Wow.
and it was there for over 6 months. It came to us in early March. We did feather transplants, rehabbed.
Where'd you get the
it.
feathers from?
Other eagles that had passed at
Okay.
other locations.
Hmm.
And
Did you put a call out for bald eagle feathers?
Mhm.
Interesting.
I know.
It's
Who
like
knew?
a transplant list.
It is. And so it gave the eagle an opportunity to heal and grow its own feathers.
Hmm.
And we did a release probably about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And it came out of the crate and took off and flew. And it was just
what's the wingspan on a
majestic.
bald eagle
Um,
or that one?
that one I think was about 6 feet.
Wow.
It was
Crazy.
gorgeous.
They're not. Are they still endangered species?
They are off the endangered
Okay.
species list. Go up. Okay, don't quote me on that.
That's close. It's borderline close. I remember when they were a long time ago when it was an issue.
So Alaska and then Florida have the second largest eagle population.
Cool.
But you get everything over there. I saw a raccoon with
We
a
do.
with a cast on its arm, possum.
We do.
You take everything.
And we've got a wonderful, we have animal ambassadors. So people can come and learn about our animals. They can bring their kids. We've got some great areas where the kids can learn to be a veterinarian, and get some just hands-on experience taking care of, the stuffed animals.
Gotcha.
Nice. So you have this event coming
I
up.
do.
Yeah.
We do.
And I saw I don't know if I saw the release or something, or anyway, came across my email, and so I got in touch with you guys about how you're changing it this
Taste
year,
of the
and it's very
Islands.
interesting how you've had to
Yeah.
change that.
Well, I think a lot of the not-for-profits are having to reimagine their fundraisers this year. Due to COVID, we have restrictions. And so Taste of the Islands is normally a one-day event. It's normally on a field. We have restaurants that participate. And we just kind of knew, one, that probably our restaurants who had been hard hit, having been closed or having only been able to do takeout for so many months, they were going to be struggling. We also knew that people probably weren't going to be comfortable coming and standing in line and being in close proximity. So we've reimagined it. We've taken it into the restaurants.
Great idea.
And so you'll still go and taste your items, but you'll go to the restaurants.
Right there, you guys.
So we're encouraging you to go to your favorite restaurants. We've actually got more restaurants participating
That's
than
great.
ever before. And it's for the whole month of November, not just one day.
Oh, great.
So you have an opportunity. We've got 30 restaurants participating. So I
All on
hope you're
Santa-
That's a lot. That's a lot of eating out.
I
Yeah.
hope you're hungry.
Oh, boy.
You can hit one restaurant every day.
Is it all on Sanibel?
Sanibel and Captiva.
Okay.
Although my Fort Myers Beach friends have said, well, we're islands too. So
That's
Taste
right.
of the Islands.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
right.
We should get us.
I'm sure
Get
there'd be
in on
quite a
the-
few number of
in on the
restaurants that
action.
would like that. So how does the donation come back to you? How does that work?
So for every taste item, every item that is on the menu that the restaurant has designated, 50% of the proceeds come back to Crow. We are also selling passports, and they're available at any Bank of the Island or Edison National Bank location, Bailey's on Sanibel, and Huckster's. They're a $10 donation. It's like a passport, right?
Right.
You can track where you've been, but it's also your ticket to vote for your People's Choice. And it also enters you into win some fabulous prizes like weekend stays at Tween Waters or Sundial or
Very nice.
Sanibel Moorings or jewelry or gift certificates. So we've got some great things planned.
So when you knew the COVID thing was going to put a damper on this year's regular event, you're all sitting around a table thinking, oh, what are we going to do? How are we going to do this? You probably got parrots and eagles in the background chirping and yelling.
We've got the wise old owls whispering in our ears.
I mean, this is a great idea. So were you worried that you were just going to have to cancel it, or you knew you were going to recreate it?
We thought, we've got to do something, and we wanted to give back to our restaurants who always support us.
Yeah.
And this was a great way to do it. So we want our patrons to go into the restaurants, not only order that one item, but also
Spend money.
have a drink and have other items, because now you're supporting the restaurant as well. So it's a great opportunity. Now, the other thing is every Sunday is a crow crawl. So we focused on different areas of the islands and different restaurants. So we'll highlight 6 or 7 restaurants every Sunday, and our sponsor tents and the crow tent will be out in front of each restaurant. And we'll have our animal ambassadors. We'll have our T-shirts for sale.
Great idea.
So our sponsors will be giving out tchotchkes and fun things in front of the restaurants, kind of, again, to drive business out to the islands.
And that's every
Sunday.
Sunday.
From noon to 4.
Awesome.
So-
Great.
So crow crawl usually means,
It's like a pub crawl.
okay,
but-
well then
but
you really
a
should
crow.
come on Fort Myers Beach and put that in effect, because these people are all about the crawls and the pubs down here. So
Hey, we'll do whatever we can.
That's right.
So how do people support Crow?
Well, we have members. We have memberships available at different levels, depending.
Tell us all the different levels.
Oh, well, so you can start at a $50 level and then go up to, if you want to be a $10,000 President Circle member.
Wow.
So it depends on your level of giving and what you can do. We also have grants and then, of course, our fundraisers. But we're blessed by the people who love animals and want to make sure that our environment is as beautiful as it is.
How old is the organization now?
You must have
Sorry.
read my mind.
Oh, I
No,
thought
it's
I thought
fine.
you asked that when I was in the
No,
restroom.
no.
We're just over 50 years old. We
Wow.
celebrated
I knew it was-
50
On
Yeah.
Sanibel the whole time.
It's been located on Sanibel. Our founder just passed away
Really?
earlier
I do
this
remember
year,
hearing
not
that,
COVID related. So we will miss Shirley, but her legacy lives on, and we know she's smiling down.
Well, so tell us real quick what was her idea when she
50
decided
years ago.
when she decided she was going to start it? What happened? Did she see something that said
So a friend, she found this turn on the causeway and called her friend who was a veterinarian and said, look, I've got this bird, but none of the local veterinarians will take care of it because it's a wild animal. So she and Dr. Phyllis Douglas, who has also since passed, took care of this lease tern in her home. And for many years, it was a volunteer-driven organization in people's homes. And then, of course, became a 501c3, and we had some land donated to us, and now we're a state-of-the-art hospital. You may have missed it, but we're a teaching facility, so we have dormitories on site where we bring students and interns in from all over the world. We train about 50 students a year.
Wow.
That must be a coveted internship to get. I mean, That would be
So
fantastic.
I love to think that we are training future wildlife
Sure. Yeah.
veterinarians.
Yeah.
How many birds and other animals do you think come through Crow in a month or a year?
This year we're going to see over 6,000 patients.
6,000.
And that'll be a record for us.
And that's basically just from how far away?
We are local. So probably within the, Lee, Collier, Charlotte, Hendry, mostly Lee, right? We also are the only licensed sea turtle facility between Sarasota and the Keys. So if a sea turtle comes in Collier County, it'll come to us and we'll take care of it.
Wow.
What's the strangest call you got about an animal that you knew you're not going to, a pet or some?
Well, we've seen some really odd things this year, right? So we've had a couple of boobies come in.
A what?
Boobies.
What's that?
The birds.
That's a bird?
We've had some frigates.
I've never heard of a booby bird.
I was just saying stone face.
I know. I was very impressed with you. We'll have people will bring in snakes. We've had an alligator brought in.
No kidding. How do you bring in an alligator?
Well,
carefully,
very carefully.
Okay, so it was a wild alligator that's got hit or something. I mean, it wasn't a pet. It wasn't a pet deer. Knock it off.
A pet alligator.
Yeah, we actually can't take care of anything that's domestic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but would you?
So we can only take care of smaller gators.
You would take care of an alligator.
If it's small
They're
enough.
pests, though.
I'm not going to take care of anything that's going to put any of my staff at risk. We've got it. Our staff is just amazing. They love the animals. They take care of these animals, and the dedication and professionalism of the Crow staff is just.
Did you ever get this
unmatched.
Call? Allison, we've got Barbara online too. She's got a giraffe. She doesn't know what to do with. I mean, just some kind of crazy animal that you never thought somebody would have.
No giraffes. No.
Just the booby birds.
Just we've had some fun stuff coming.
Coyotes.
This year.
You wouldn't take.
So they are the coyotes that have come in. Unfortunately, have been had to be euthanized because the damage has been too
I was
much.
coming back from the gym this morning. It was still dark out by Stony Brook, and there was one of those gigantic, nasty looking, ugly feral hogs, like right on the sidewalk. You ever have one of those?
Not to my knowledge.
Would you just take that out in the back and start putting it on the spigot?
Well, I mean, I think if it's that big too.
It was big. It was big. You could see the fangs.
Again, we have to be really careful
Yeah,
to make sure that our staff isn't hurt.
Is there a video on the website about the bald eagle? Did you say that?
There's some great videos,
Cool.
And yes, there's video on the eagle release and also on the transplant. So if you wanted to look and see all of the things that had happened during his rehab.
That's great. Have you done any other transplants like an organ transplant or just feathers?
So I have to admit that that's a good question for our veterinarians. I don't know that they've done any actual organ transplants, but we do a lot of surgeries. We do, whether it's soft tissue or bone.
How do you know you're not like these birds aren't? I mean, this might be dumb. How do you know they don't have disease or something? I mean,
they're vets. They test them.
I know, but all these birds out there and people are getting around them and they're picking them up.
Do you
they're trying to
ever
help
get an
them.
animal that you rehab but it can't be released?
So sometimes there are animals that come in and cannot be released, and they will either stay with us as a ambassador. So for example, Gigi, we have a wonderful opossum who came to us as a baby.
An opossum.
She's adorable.
Oh, come on.
She
Those
is.
things are varmints. They're nasty.
They love
What?
people love them. The people that love them
things
love
that
them.
shouldn't be out there.
She came in. She doesn't have a
They're
tail.
cute.
She didn't have, her tail had been injured, so it needed to be amputated. And so because they need that for balance out in the wild, she became one of our animal ambassadors. So we use her for education purposes in our program.
Somebody carried around and no kidding.
Yeah. So she's wonderful. And we tell people about the good things that the opossums do, like they're not rabid. They can't get rabies because of their blood temperature. They eat ticks. They eat garbage.
See, who knew that?
So if I lobby to have all opossums released in my neighborhood, because just think, if you have an opossum in your backyard, you're not going to have any ticks. Mosquitoes, all kinds of insects are going to be gone from your yard.
I have to tell you a quick funny story. I was taking the garbage out yesterday, and I'm a little bit of a sissy sometimes, and something jumped on me, and one of those tree frogs just stuck to my leg, and I jumped like I was bitten by a. No, I did. Luckily, I didn't, but I jumped like like I was attacked by a bear. You ever have a bear?
The good news is the Cuban tree frogs, while they are invasive, are not dangerous.
Okay.
But people should.
So I shouldn't jump.
They should be on the lookout for those cane toads, because those can be dangerous.
What do they look like?
Your dogs. Those are those really big.
Oh, okay.
Ugly,
I don't think I've ever seen one of those.
They do some damage to the dogs.
They're toxic.
Yeah.
They have that toxic.
So November, all month
the
long.
month of November.
All right, and people should go on your website and start spending money.
Kinds of information.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And get out to Sanibel and spend your $6,
And
people.
Captiva.
And Captiva, and don't be cheap, and help out the Crow folks, because it's going on the next 50 years.
That's right.
Right?
Absolutely.
How long have you been there now?
I've been there. I started in January of 2019. So I say, let's see, I've been there a year and 9 months and
you're already running the place. Look at that.
17 days.
And you probably want no other job in your life. That's got to be like the greatest job.
I'm actually a recovering attorney. I was practicing
What?
law in here.
Okay, so let me ask an attorney question.
Nope.
Come on. Has nothing to do with animals.
Don't do it.
The masks.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Well, you got a mask mandate out there too, right? All right, I won't ask you that. But,
And it's got
we actually masked up at Crow previously, before the mask mandate, because clearly with the tigers at the Bronx Zoo, we can pass. There's the potential to pass to animals.
What do you mean the tigers at the Bronx Zoo?
So early on during the pandemic, there were tigers at the Bronx Zoo that had contracted COVID.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't hear that.
I didn't hear that either.
So
I didn't know a tiger could get COVID.
There's some research out there.
I heard the Tiger King got it, but not tigers.
We at Crow, we have masked up from day one.
Have you gotten any animals that had COVID?
We don't test for that.
Okay, yeah. Why would you?
We have been blessed, and none of our staff.
Great, cool. Well, we appreciate you coming on so much, and we'd like to have you back many, many more times. Whatever events you have going on, we want to promote them.
Absolutely.
And if you got an ad or something, send me an ad. I'll put it on the website and everything. And we need to get over there during November and eat.
Right?
So you need to get a passport. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. And good luck in November.
For coming down and getting in the queue. I apologize.
Yeah. We had a great lineup of guests today. So
I know.
Well, even Mike, he mentioned, during fledgling season, make sure you put your kitties up.
Yeah.
Right. Yes, he did. That's right.
Put your what up?
Put your cats up. Domestic cats.
Oh, okay. Mike.
Deadly to animals.
All right. Well, good luck.
Thank you so
in November.
much.
Thanks for coming on, Alison. We appreciate it. Alison, everybody from the wonderful organization Crow. And she's putting her mask back on, so everybody knows she's put it on first before she got up. She's following the rules 100%. I guess I should have put mine on when I went to the restroom. But thanks a lot to Alison, and get out in Sanibel in the month of November and support the organization and get on the website and get a membership. So thanks a lot, Alison. We appreciate your time coming down tonight. And